In about 2 months, Apple is going to show the world its first ever folding phone. And the more details that leak out about it, the more obvious it becomes that this is not just Apple copying what Samsung has been doing for years. This is Apple building something specifically positioned as a luxury device, priced and designed to sit in its own category entirely. Here's everything actually worth knowing before it happens. Let's start with something people are not talking about enough. Why Apple is doing this now 7 full years after Samsung launched the very first Galaxy Fold. Apple has a long history of waiting on new product categories until the technology genuinely matures, rather than rushing to be first. When Steve Jobs unveiled the very first iPhone, he specifically talked about how competitors were stuck using clunky keyboards and styluses, while Apple built something that adapted to whatever you actually needed it to do. Apple appears to be taking that exact same approach with foldables. Let everyone else work out the early kinks for years, then step in once the category is actually ready for a proper polished version. Now the pricing, because this is genuinely one of the more interesting business stories buried inside this whole launch. Multiple credible reports now suggest Apple is deliberately using the Ultra to protect the pricing on its regular Pro lineup. By launching a dedicated luxury foldable at a clearly premium price point, Apple can absorb rising component costs on that one device specifically, while keeping the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max closer to last year's pricing. Basically, instead of quietly raising prices across every single iPhone to cover rising memory and chip costs, Apple gets to concentrate that cost increase into one new ultra-premium product that people already expect to be expensive. It is a clever way to protect the phone most people actually buy. As for the actual number, most current leaks are landing in a fairly tight range. Weibo sources translating Chinese pricing suggest a starting point right around $1,999 for the 256GB model, climbing to somewhere around $2,199 for 512 gigabytes, and topping out near $2,399 for a full terabyte of storage. Some earlier rumors floated an even steeper starting price closer to $2,399, but that now looks less likely based on more recent reporting. Now let's talk about what you're actually getting for that money, because the hardware is genuinely impressive. Inside is Apple's next-generation A20 chip, built on a 2nm process, paired with Apple's own custom cellular modem rather than relying on a third party. RAM is expected to land at a generous 12 GB, specifically to handle heavier multitasking and run Apple Intelligence features directly on the device rather than leaning on the cloud. The frame itself has actually been a bit of a moving target in recent leaks. Analyst Jeff Pugh now expects a hybrid titanium and aluminum build, which actually contradicts some earlier reports that pointed to a fully titanium casing paired with a stainless steel hinge. These kinds of small disagreements between sources are pretty normal this close to launch, but it is worth knowing the frame materials are still genuinely being debated. One honest number worth mentioning, because it matters for anyone actually deciding whether to buy this thing: the battery. Current estimates put it somewhere between 4,800 and 5,000 mAh, which actually means it likely will not lead the entire foldable category on battery life. And on weight, leaks suggest around 255 grams, noticeably heavier than Samsung's own newly announced Galaxy Z Fold8, which comes in around 201 grams. Those are real trade-offs worth factoring in if you were expecting Apple's first foldable to automatically outperform the competition on every single spec. Now the software side, because Apple is clearly not just slapping a folding screen onto existing iOS and calling it done. iOS 27 is being specifically built around this device with features like dynamic app resizing, where apps automatically adjust themselves as you move between the outer and inner displays, plus an adaptive interface that reshapes itself depending on how the phone is being held or used at that moment. There is also a simplified version of the split-screen multitasking iPad users have had for years, letting you genuinely use 2 apps side by side on that larger inner display, something no iPhone has ever properly offered before. Timing-wise, Mark Gurman has been fairly consistent recently, pointing to a September 8th announcement alongside the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. There was real concern earlier this year that rising production costs might push Apple to delay the whole thing, but more recent reporting suggests Apple has actually increased its production order to over 10 million units, which is a pretty strong signal this is happening on schedule rather than getting pushed back again. Here's the honest picture. This is not Apple trying to outspec Samsung on paper. It is Apple building a genuinely different kind of device, priced deliberately high, positioned specifically to protect its mainstream lineup, and backed by software built from the ground up around folding rather than bolted on afterward. So here's the real question. Does positioning this as a dedicated luxury device change how you feel about the price, or does $2,000 still feel like too much no matter how Apple frames it? Let us know in the comments below. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.